chapter 24, verse 6, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not sure, for all these things must come to pass, but it is not yet. Matthew 24:7, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Matthew 24:8, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Shalom, first and foremost. I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Karkadash. Shalom to the elders of Great Millstone for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered through the 4 points of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom to the Akim out there. And this is a lesson that I want to bring out, a walk and talk lesson. And this was from MSN.com by Reuters as of yesterday at 10:35 p.m. And it reads, Belarus officials West left no choice but to deploy nuclear arms. Right, because the rise of tensions between the Western countries versus Belarus and Russia. But definitely primarily Russia, because you got the Russia-Ukraine situation continuing to heat up now some more than ever. And continuing on with the reading, it says the Western countries left Belarus no choice but to deploy Russian tactical nuclear weapons and had better to take heed not to cross the red lines. It says on key strategic issues, and senior Belarusian officials was quoted as saying on Sunday, it says Alexander Volkovich, State Secretary of Belarus Security Council, and it was logical that the weapons were withdrawn after the 1991 Soviet collapse, as the United States has provided security guarantees and imposed no sanctions. It says today everything has been turned down. All the promises made has gone forever. It says the Belta news agency quoted Vukovic as telling an interview on taking television, Belarus, led by the President Alexander Zelensky since 1994, is a Russian's staunch ally among the ex-Soviet states, and allow its territories to be used to launch the Kremlin invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. It says Russia moves ahead last week with decisions to deploy tactical nuclear weapons on Belarusian territory and aiming at achieving Pacific gains on the battlefield. And it says Russia says its special military operation in Ukraine was aimed to counter what it says is a drive by the collective West to wage a proxy war and inflicted a defeat on Moscow. It says the deployment of the tactical nuclear weapons on the territory of Belarus is therefore one of the steps of strategic deterrence if remains any reason in the head of the Western politicians of the course that will not cross the red line. Volkovic says, if I pronounce his name right. And it says, he said, any resort of using even tactical nuclear weapons will lead to irreversible consequences. And it says Zelensky last week said the weapons were already on the move, but it is not yet clear when they will be in place. And it says the United States has denounced the prospect of deployment of nuclear weapons in Belarus, but that its stance on the use of such weapons has not been altered. The Western sanctions was imposed on Belarus long before the invasion in connections with Zelensky's clampdown on human rights, particularly the repression of mass protests against what his opponents said was his rig and re-elections in 2020. It says after independence from the Soviet roles, Belarus and Ukraine, Kazakhstan agrees to their weapons being removed and returned to the Russian as part of the international efforts of containing proliferation. So yeah, this is wars and rumors wars right here. As it says again, Belarus officials said West left us no choice but to deploy nuclear arms. So that shows you a prime example of the West, the West versus the Western countries of the allies of Ukraine and the United States and NATO and its allies and its armies as well too, going against Belarus and Russia, but definitely particularly Russia. So hey, that's a prime example of wars and rumors of wars right there. Let's see. Go back to Matthew 24:6, and this is a prime example. It says Matthew 24:6, and it reads to the Holy Scriptures. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right, that's a rumor of war right there. Belarus official said that that left us no choice but to deploy nuclear capability over there, between Belarus and Russia. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. And it reads to the Holy Scriptures. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, And this is a prime example. And it says Belarus official was left no choice but to deploy nuclear arms. So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying. We'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Karkadash. Shalom to the elders of Great Millstone for Christian word, truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, see after the 4 points of the book, Christian word, truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I would say shalom.